Hi, I'm Alan Johannes. This is Guitar Power. I'm with Nita Strauss. So tell me, there's always a moment when you just go, guitar.
Yes.
Right?
Guitar.
Like, what was that?
Well, there's a movie called Crossroads.
Right.
And everyone looking at me thinks it's going to be the Britney Spears Crossroads because it's blonde hair. I don't know. It's not the Britney Spears one. It's the Ralph Macchio one. And it's the scene at the end when Vi comes out. You know, they do the whole battle. And I remember thinking, how come nobody told me you could do that with a guitar? That looks like fun. You know, I'm over there going. You know, and Vi's over there making his faces, doing his thing, and I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So I just never really looked back after that point.
So would you say Vi was the first one that you just went, okay?
The first and still the ultimate
absolutely.
one, for sure. Yes, I got passionate in warfare, and I got really into the whole instrumental guitar shred thing. You know, Paul Gilbert, Marty Friedman, Cacophony, Jason Becker, and Sean Lane and Frank Gambale, like those guys were always my guys. That's what I listened to.
Too, wow.
I never took formal guitar lessons until actually last year.
Wow.
I took my first real guitar lesson, but I learned from DVDs like those REH VHS tapes, Yngwie Malmsteen, Play Loud, and John Petrucci, Rock Discipline, Marty Friedman, Melodic Control. And I had this idea in my head that I was going to do, you know, one per week or something, one thing, and then I'd get stuck on this, you know, like some Malmsteen thing. I'd be like, oh, I'm good at that now.
You got that one.
You gotta be done with it and go back.
Did you have a musical family? Did you have the people around? You did.
Yes, I grew up in a classical music household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Strauss goes back on my dad's side to the composer, Johann Strauss. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And my dad's a musician. My dad had a band, and so he gave me my first guitar, taught me my first few chords, and my first show ever, we played at a Battle of the Bands. And we didn't sell enough tickets to go on, so my dad had to buy like, I think like 15 tickets or something just so we could play.
Wow.
And then we went on at like midnight, and it was a death metal band, and I was 13, and we were so bad that everybody left.
Aww.
Even like one of the judges left. This band was so bad. So it's now kind of nice that I can get my parents' seats at the Hollywood Bowl and say, look, here's a box.
Yeah.
You know, I brought my mom to Madison Square Garden last year,
That's
and you know,
amazing.
so I get to finally say, thank you guys very much for coming to all those terrible, terrible shows.
The live thing is all that experience it's amazing because there's nothing like being in the moment and then going for it, and then that kind of becomes your body memory. You know,
Absolutely.
every time you cross the next threshold.
Absolutely. I really think of the guitar as another appendage of my body. I don't really think of it as something I'm holding when I'm playing it. You know, it's kind of like just another arm or another hand, you know. I can't sing. I wish I could. I've taken lessons, I've tried. So this is really the only way, and you know, some guitar players, I think this is the way we can really say how we're feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like whether it's you're taking your frustration out on an instrument or you're playing your loved one to sleep at night, you know, it's really your way to communicate, you know, how you really feel. And I think it's the most honest way that you can communicate.
So you know, find a connection between the classical music too, and you know.
I do. I've always been very drawn to neoclassical players. You know, like Malmsteen and you know these guys. So I've always had, and Jason Becker, of course. I've always had an affinity for that type of guitar playing. So I think it does come a lot from having opera and classical music around growing up.
The Bach especially, a lot of that stuff
Yes.
is great.
Yeah. Paganini.
Yeah. You think it's true that he actually, like, what was the story that he sold his soul to the devil so he could, like...
The Crossroads is
that
actually
too,
Paganini.
that too. I guess the selling of souls has been going on for a while, but...
yeah, I mean, does that work? Does anybody know where like,
I don't know, but apparently, you know, he could play violin like no one's business.
Yeah.
And those pieces are extremely hard.
It's interesting because, you know, those guys didn't write music for guitars.
Right.
You know, they wrote music for violins and lutes and balalaikas and things like that. So when you get into these kind of phrasings of classical, you know, that's when you get into this stuff that's sort of awkward as a guitar player, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get in there and really just, you know, get the different shapes in your hands. It's anybody can do these kind of sweeps, you know. You know, that's the kind of stuff, I mean, you can get there, but then when you get into these inverted,
Right.
Those, like the kind of inverted ones are where you really get into the tricky violin going, that's not a guitar thing.
Well, it's like a 2-octave jump too, you know, and a violin being in fifths, it's like a little closer.
And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a violin, it's pretty small compared to this thing.
Yes, exactly. Have you ever considered then you know, with how beautiful you phrase and to actually do some arias on?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've been working on this solo album on and off for a year and a half now,
Awesome.
a couple years, and that's an idea that I've toyed with a lot, is putting a classical piece, you know, put something like Nessun Dorma. It would probably be an aria. It probably wouldn't be something fast. Everyone would expect me to do the Four Seasons or the Paganini Caprice or something. And I'd like to do something that surprises people, you know, do something melodic.
And also read somewhere too, you got into funk a little bit too?
I did, and again, just sort of thrown into the fire by accident. I got the call to play in Jermaine Jackson's band, and they said, can you play funk? And I was like, yeah, sure. And Bob Ezrin did the same thing when I came into Alice's band. He said, can you become a rock guitar player? I said, yeah, I can. He goes, you're not a rock guitar player, you're a shredder. Can you become a rock guitar player? And I said, yes, sir, I can. And basically I had 2 weeks, and that was when I took my first guitar lesson. And they had to like rein me back in a little bit. I had this when I was doing the solo in 18, I did and Chuck Eric, our bass player, he's been in the band 13 years, he took me aside, he goes, I want you to try cutting those notes in half. And I was like, what do you mean by that exactly? He goes, do half the amount of notes. And I was like, what would that even sound like? And then I was like, no, look, it's my solo, I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. And then I thought about it, and I went back and I said, okay, I'll try it today. And I tried it on stage. It worked so well in the context of the song. And that's where you have to just put the shred chops aside and be like, okay, it's 18. It's a classic rock song. Maybe you could cut the notes in half. So it's, you know, it's been a great learning experience working with these guys, working with the classic rock kind of sound, and really helped me develop a lot.
That's awesome.
It's just so interesting, you know, like the stuff that as a self-taught guitar player that you don't touch on. Like I never knew, like there's, everyone knows that. I didn't know you could go. I didn't know you could put that note in there. No one told me. It's like, and I remember, and Bill was going, my teacher, you know, was going, how do you not know this stuff? You've been doing this for a job for how long? I was like, because I just taught myself. I didn't think blues was that cool, so I didn't learn it.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, it's this arc of music that started since the beginning, you know, since the first, you know, drum beat.
You know, I had the opportunity to talk, you know, meet Jason Becker and talk with him, and I asked him, what is some advice that you have for a young guitar player? And one of the things he said was, you know, don't just listen to one kind of music. Listen to everything so you can develop your own style and you don't sound like everybody else. And, you know, if all you listen to is Jason Becker and these, you know, bouncing all these guys, then all you're going to have is that in your repertoire. You got to expand beyond all that. So it was a great experience. Yeah,
and it's such a lifetime of, you know, it's basically just a commitment, and it keeps growing with you. You keep growing with it, and you evolve. And
absolutely.
I mean, that's the wonderful thing about music. It's just, you know, infinite in that way.
Absolutely. You know? Someone asked me in an interview a few days ago. They said, "So do you think, like, now you've done all this stuff, you can tell this guy's not a musician?" He said, "So do you think you're good enough?" I started laughing. I was like, "You don't play guitar, do you?"
Yeah.
Because there's always something more to do. There's always something new to conquer. You know, look at Malmsteen, started playing the blues.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's always new horizons, flamenco and jazz, and you know, there's always
I started
new
on
stuff.
flamenco. That's what got the
really.
Nails, yeah. I've seen you do a lot of really cool stuff where you just end up, you know, over here and over here, like.
I do mute a lot. I mute
a
lot with the right hand.
Which is really cool, as opposed to, you know, doing it this way and doing like that.
Yeah, I do it for a couple reasons. I mean, number one, you know, I come from the Steve Vai, if it looks cool, do that.
Right,
you know, so, but it also stabilizes the neck a lot. If you have your hand here, it stabilizes it. So it's.
What key are you in? Let me see you try.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
So instead of, I mean, you can do it, but why do it that way when you can do it that way? Because it looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same thing, you know, holding the guitar up, you know, doing this kind of stuff. You just get used to doing it a certain way, and then when you're not doing it that way, then it's weird. Yeah.
Well, it seems like if you go like this, you almost have a little bit more of an easy access.
Oh, totally.
If you do the
you have so much control.
Like
oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, you ever see these guys, we'll look at Louis Roth with that V, all this up. There it is. I see it right here.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, you have a really close view.
You got a good view.
Do you want to jam a little more?
What do you want to do?
You want to start something? No problem.
Let's see.
I can't do that one. Wait. All right. I gotta practice the face, admittedly.
I mean, I don't really know. It seems to work for Vi, so I just kind of copy Vi.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was amazing. I had a great time.
It was so much fun for me. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be included in Guitar Power, and I'm really just happy to be here.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.